So tomorrow when you wake up, Thursday morning, you might not have been able to wake up and watch Bafana Bafana game against South Korea. So tomorrow on Thursday when you wake up, there'll be one thing and one thing trending everywhere you go. You might be in a taxi, on your car listening to radio, there will be one thing. Social media, Bafana Bafana versus South Korea. So you might see two outcomes that are possible. Is that Bafana Bafana won the game or they play the draw? I don't believe South Korea will be able to beat Bafana Bafana tomorrow. Yeah, label me patriotic and delusional. It's fine. But there will be two other possibilities that might be happening at that time. Is that Bafana Bafana might have either qualified for the knockout stages of the World Cup, or they might have failed to qualify for the knockout stages of the World Cup, and that will mean they will be coming back to South Africa. That will mean that's the end of the road for them, and they'll be watching the rest of the World Cup here at home with us. So we will be the fans, they will be the fans too. So, and that will also mean that tomorrow's match against South Korea is Hugo Broos' last match. Remember, he announced that after the World Cup, he will be leaving. He will be retiring from coaching football. The man is 74 years old. He needs to rest. Yeah. So that is that. Yeah. And like I say, I personally don't believe South Korea will be beating Bafana Bafana. Bear in mind, I'm not undermining South Korea. I've said it after they played Czechia that this is one of the most dynamic teams. This is one of the most energetic team, and this is one of the teams that have an energetic midfielder. The South Korea has an energetic midfield, but we saw against them playing against Mexico that they were hypnotized. They played like they maybe played like South Africa played against Mexico. And a mistake from their goalkeeper cost them a game. They ended up losing that match 1-0. But they played also against Czechia. They managed to salvage a 2-1 win. That match against Czechia, they played similar to Bafana Bafana. They came from behind, but unlike Bafana Bafana, they managed to get a win. Like I said, Bafana Bafana couldn't. But when you look deep into that game, they played exactly like Bafana Bafana into that game. At some point, they let Czechia dominate the game, and Czechia managed to score from a set piece. I believe it was a throw-in, and they scored, which is Czechia. That's how good Czechia is with aerial balls. So, yeah. But Bafana Bafana, when you look at their game against Mexico, we all had a crash. We all had a breakdown that we were let down by Hugo Broos and his technical team. Like, what were you guys doing? Playing a 5-4-1, and I believe it was it was a 5-4-1 formation. They ended up losing that match. Bafana Bafana came in against Czechia. They salvaged a draw. Their formation has changed at that match. I believe it was a 3-4-3. Was it 3-4-3? I believe so. And 4-3-3. We managed to salvage a draw in that match, and that draw managed to put us in a better position that we need to come here and beat South Korea. One of the energetic team, one of the dynamic teams in the World Cup so far. And if you've been watching South Korea even during their qualifiers, they are not a team that really change how they play. They play as dynamic as they are, and most of their players are very, very creative. So it's going to be a mountain to climb, but I believe that we are going to be able to climb that mountain. If not, then we fall with it. But let's not forget how far this team came from. Bafana Bafana didn't just qualify as a host. Like, normally we've been labeled that most of the time we qualify for tournaments as host, but since Hugo Broos took over this team, we've managed to qualify fairly. And remember, we qualified in a group where there was Nigeria. They couldn't even beat us in that group. We had one of the toughest groups in the qualifiers, and we managed to qualify as number one of those teams. We didn't go to what do you call to qualifiers like DR Congo. We qualified straight to the World Cup. So it has been a progress to Bafana Bafana's journey. And even if you look overall, this World Cup, I believe for Safa, it should be able to tell us how far with our football are we. Are we going backwards? Are we progressing forward? Those are the answers that we should get from this World Cup. Even if Bafana make it to the knockout stage, even if Bafana make it to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and maybe finals, there should be a project where I believe SAFA should study it and study it intensely and make changes of our local league and make changes of our development solely based on this World Cup progress, how Bafana played that. What is it that we need to change? Because Hugo Broos, if you remember, he has complained a lot that South Africa needs to have a lot of players playing overseas, especially in big leagues, not just overseas. You gotta have players playing, at least 4 players playing the UEFA Champions League. That's what he said. You gotta have players in the English Premier League, in the Bundesliga, in Ligue 1, in Serie A. And he said those are the leagues that Bafana players need to look forward to. And when you look at his comment and look at over the years, we've been struggling really to trade players into those leagues. So it is one of those things that I believe that SAFA should really look into, despite what might happen in this World Cup. And I believe that we are gonna make it to the knockout stages. Look, I personally don't want, or maybe don't believe, that we are capable of going to the semi-final or final maybe. I'm not undermining Bafana, but this is a team that hasn't been to the World Cup in exactly 16 years. So us going to the World Cup and just progressing to the knockout phases, that will be a win for someone like me. That will be progress, because of this team has never made it that far. So that will be a sign of progress. And I believe our league has improved over the years. And considering the fact that when you look at this team, we have 8 players from Mamelodi Sundowns and 8 players from Orlando Pirates. Then the rest are here and there. Players from overseas, I believe, maybe 4. Then players from Kaizer Chiefs, it's 1 player. Then we have Siwelele. So we have a dominance of PSL players in that team. And should we be able to make it out of the group stages, that will be a sign that our league has also improved. You know what I'm saying? That will be a sign that our league has gotten better over the years. That will be a sign that we have a great product when it comes to, the PSL has created a great product when it comes to the Betway Premiership, and it should be improved. That will be a sign. Hence, I'm saying this should be a project for SAFA, this should be a project for the PSL to study intensively and make improvements so that the national team can benefit so much from it. You know, but we shall see. South Korea it guarantees to never be an easy team. South Korea guarantees not to be a hog in the park. But do I believe we can beat them? Of course. Do I believe also they can also beat us? There are chances that they can beat us, but only if maybe Hugo Broos and his technical team pull what they pulled against Mexico, going into the game and wanna play defensively. Because a draw will not gonna do us any good. A draw will take us to 2 points, and when you look at most of the teams in other groups have 3 points. So for us to be fed best team, we need a win in this match. A win or nothing in this match. That's all that we need. And a win will surely guarantee us the knockout stages, because we will either finish number 2 or number 3. But a win will surely guarantee us a knockout phase that I can give you for free. But remember, Czechia also playing Mexico. If Czechia also manages to beat Mexico, it's gonna be a tricky one. It's gonna be a tricky one. But for Bafana, they only need to beat South Korea to be in a better position to go to the knockout phases. You know, so that's that. Remember, South Africa versus South Korea, Thursday, 3 a.m. I repeat, 3 a.m. in the morning. So when you sleep tonight, set your alarm for 3 a.m. That's when the match will come. Don't be confused and wanna watch the match tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon. No, 3 a.m. tomorrow when you wake up. At 3 a.m. That's when the match will play. South Africa versus South Korea. This might be our last match, or this might be the match that progresses us to the knockout phases.